Now then, Jeffrey, here we are in early 1993, and we're together to select the World 11, the current World 11. Let me go and give you the chance to pick the opening batsman.
Oh, I think that's the hardest of the lot at the moment in world cricket. Can we start with the fast bowlers? That's a bit easier.
All right, anything, yes.
I think they're fairly straightforward. I think Ambrose of West Indies picks himself.
Yes.
Great bowler any era. Waqar Younis and Wasim Akram, mainly because Waqar Younis has had outstanding performances in his meteoric, shortish career, and he swings the ball.
Yep.
That's important in modern times, very few people do, and at a very rapid rate. And he's got a big heart, really strong, he really wants to get up the batsman. I like bowlers like that. And Wasim Akram, because his left arm over, he's a great bowler with pace, he can bowl over the wicket, the awkward angle across the right-handers. He bowls around the wicket, which I've never seen any left-armer do, not even the great Garfield Sobers. In fact, that would worry me more than him coming over the wicket. I think those three are outstanding.
I am really, really surprised at you, Jeffrey. A Yorkshireman picking a Lancastrian and a player from Surrey to open the bowling. I don't believe it, but I agree with you. I agree with you. I'm only surprised, but I agree with you. Well, I think the opening batting, you would have David Boone with the kind of form he's showing. I think he picks himself in the side. There are no other opening batsmen in the kind of form that would get them in the World 11, but I'd like to look at Brian Lara, who's opened the batting for the West Indies in the limited overs games, to open with David Boone.
Yes, I've seen him play quite a bit in his short career. He's a very talented youngster. He's probably the only youngster in world cricket at a young age that rivals Sachin Tendulkar. He's done most of his big scores, except for that double 100, in one-day cricket. And I would have to toss up between Lara, the young kid, or Richie Richardson going in first.
Yes, I think Richie Richardson has been consistent over the last so many years. He would definitely have to get a look into the World 11.
See, and the only reason he's batted 3 for West Indies, he was an opening batsman with the Leeward Islands in Antigua, is because Viv Richards was number 3, the great batsman. And then he also, before Viv went down the order, there was Desmond Haynes and Gordon Greenidge. So he started his career at number 4 and 5. Then he got to number 3 when Viv went down the order to 5. He's actually never got up to opening the innings, only irregularly when one of Greenidge and Haynes has been injured.
Well, the middle order, I think, would pose a lot of problems because there are lots of very good middle order batsmen who we could possibly not all fit into the 11. You're looking at what? When you pick a side, you look for 5 batsmen and 5 bowlers, and the next man is the wicket keeper. Now, out of the 5 bowlers, you would probably have 2 all-rounders who can bat a bit as well. So if we have Richardson and David Boone to open the batting, number 3 would be Sachin Tendulkar.
Hang on, don't I get a say in this?
Well,
Yorkshire.
Yes,
We've
Bombay.
got one.
Bombay.
Definitely, we've got one in from Yorkshire at last.
And Bombay.
Well, I know you said Bombay, but we've adopted him. He's our first overseas player. Yes, I don't think I'd put him in at number 3. I think I'd put somebody in like Martin Crowe. Very experienced and very fine player. Probably back Sachin just a touch lower down. I know you want to make him captain and get him up the order too quick, but...
Well, he's, I think, perhaps the kind of player who can adapt his game. He can play defensively, he can attack if the going is good. I would pick Sachin. At number 4 and 5, Javed Miandad and Alan Border.
I'd certainly have Javed, and I'd certainly have Martin Crowe. And I think, before Alan Border, I'd consider Robin Smith. Robin Smith's performances in world cricket, except for his experiences in 3 turning test matches in India, have been outstanding. The average is 50.
Yes, but because he hasn't done so well on turning wickets, he wouldn't find a place in the current World 11.
All right, we'll give you Alan Border.
You want batsmen who will be able to play on all kinds of surfaces, all kinds of conditions. So Robin Smith, no, he wouldn't get my vote.
We'll give you Alan Border then because he's a left-hander as well.
Yes, that's right. Well, who would be your wicket-keeper then?
Well, I've looked around. England don't have one. We've got 2 batsmen keeping wicket. We left our best keeper at home. I'm not totally overjoyed with the Australian wicketkeeper, Healy. I think yours, I love him, is the Shabash man, but I think he's gone off a bit. I like him, he's a lovely lad, but I think he's gone off a bit. Pakistan have a young lad. I actually like the West Indies young keeper, Junior Murray. He's just come on the scene in Australia. It's really a toss-up, probably the young Pakistani or something. There's nobody outstanding at the moment for me.
No, I think you've got the pronunciation wrong. For me, it would not be a Murray, it would be a Morey in the World 11. Jeffrey?
Shabash, shabash, yeah. And I think we'd need a spinner. And I've looked around, you've got good spinners in India, but I like Mushtaq, the leg spinner for Pakistan.
And the captain? Border.
Border, I suppose. We'll let you manage it. Now, Sonny, this rule of one bouncer per over per batsman really gets up my nose. How do you think about it?
I think it's the most ridiculous rule that the ICC has ever introduced. How can you stop a bowler from bowling what is his wicket-taking ball? If he thinks it's his wicket-taking ball, then I think it deserves to bowl 6 such deliveries. It's for the umpire to decide whether a number 1 batsman, a number 5 batsman, a number 11 batsman is getting intimidated by a short pitch ball. The umpire should come in and say, that's enough.
Well, I think it was brought in because of the West Indies. They had 4 fast bowlers, and I think it was brought in to penalise them, which is very, very unfair.
Well, how can you bring in a law to penalise one particular side just to protect a species of batsman which is getting perhaps overprotected with the kind of helmets, with the kind of equipment that they have? You never tell a batsman to not hit only 1 boundary and over. You don't tell a batsman hit only 1 6. You don't tell a leg spinner bowl only 1 googly in and over. So why put this restriction on the fast bowlers?
Well, I think that's why it's come in, and what it's doing, it's protecting lesser batsmen who can't handle the short pitch delivery. What it means is they can go in, once they've had 1 bouncer and over, they know they're not going to get another. They can just play forward all the time.
Well, that's absolutely ridiculous, because that way you're not really testing the batsman. I think that when you play the spinners, there is a test of your cricketing skills, your batting skills, because there's a lot of movement of the feet involved. You go either right back, or you go down the wicket, you go forward, you smother the spin. But with quick bowling, it is a test of your courage. There is, of course, skill involved. There is a great deal of skill involved in getting the ball coming at your face and fending it down. I mean, not every batsman in the world can put the short pitch ball right at your feet. The ball tends to bounce up and go elsewhere. But that is also a special skill. You're getting that skill away by having only 1 bouncer per over.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned courage, because a lot of people forget that this game is not just about ability, it's about character. And one of the facets of character is having courage. Courage to play fast bowling. That's what a lot of people want to see. I'm worried, you know, that sometimes we're going to get a situation where 1 batsman gets a bouncer, the umpire says that's your 1 for the over, and then later on in the over he's bowled another bouncer, he fends it off badly, and it spoons to gully or short leg, and the umpire says you're not out.
And again, this you're leaving to the interpretation of the umpire, because what is a bouncer? In the West Indies, a bouncer is called a long hop, and they keep on saying you should be hooking it. That's not a bouncer. In England, you would call it a bouncer. In India, you would call it a bouncer. In Pakistan, again, they might say, hey, this is not a bouncer. So what is a bouncer? You've got to either define that. That is not being done either.
Well, I think it's a bad rule, and it was made by bad administrators.
Well, perhaps made by administrators who themselves did not fancy the short pitch bowling, though I don't know how many of the administrators have played short pitch fast
Now,
bowling.
don't go weak on me and soft now. It's a weak body, the ICC. It's time they got more ex-players, people like yourself who played, Richard Hadley, people like that involved to talk about cricket and what's good for the game, instead of letting people who finished 20, 30 years ago dictate what should happen.
Well, I agree with you, but I don't think it's going to happen because every establishment has its own sort of wheels within wheels, and that will ensure that the status quo of the ICC will remain. You and I, we can talk about it, but it's good because unless we talk about it, people are not going to understand the feelings behind it. Imran Khan, a fast bowler, has come in against it. Richie Richardson, a batsman, has come in against the rules. Now, these are two captains. Imran was playing when the rule came in. So when you have captains coming in and talking about it, that means they have to be heard. The ICC has to hear the captains.
And we're opening batsmen, and we're against it, aren't we?
Yes.